wheelie cart. That's what I'm going to call this, wheelie cart. And the reason why is because it sounds cooler than tractor cart. So welcome back to part 2, and tonight's video is going to be about how I'm going to make this thing function, because it's an unfinished project. If you did watch part 1 of wheelie cart, you'd be like, is this thing going to do a wheelie? Like, there's pressure on me. You know what I mean? I got pressure on me. Where's my camera chick going? There, she's over there. Okay, so I got pressure on me to fulfill this prophecy of us wanting to build something, and the differences between both of these wheelie carts. His doesn't do a wheelie anymore because he's got a battery in it, he's got a starter in it now, he's got electric start. Like, Joe just took it like 2-3 months ahead of me because he lives there and he has all the access to everything. I have to go there and visit and get work done. So I am behind the times. So I am playing catch up to that project, which you will see these tractors together in the future. But for now, I literally have it back as a roller, and all of the major welding is done pretty much. Not the most beautiful welds, but hot enough that I trust that everything is reinforced and that everything is in the frame is solid enough that it's not going to fall to pieces, because what's the good of that if you're going to do it? But tonight's video is about propulsion. So Gail, let's come on up here. Let's look at this. This is about how we're going to make this thing function. So I'm using a motorcycle master cylinder, which is fantastic for hand control since we're not using a steering wheel on this thing, and a thumb control. So what I'm doing now is I'm setting up the line to go back to the caliper, because on a motorcycle, you know, your hose is going to turn with you. So you have to make sure there's enough hose when you go full lock that you are not pulling it or stretching it, because the brakes are very important. When you go right, it bumps into your legs slightly. I have to probably make a clip to hold it, but nonetheless, we've got a smooth brake hose that's going back to the caliper. And honestly, it's the easiest thing to do on this project, because all I gotta do is connect it and Gail and I have to bleed it, and we got rear brakes. Right. So that's an easy one. But it's getting throttle control set up, because we're using the throttle cable setups that I got, I think are gonna be too short for a thumb control. Like the brakes, the throttle has to go down and has to also move with the steering. It's because you're using this hand control stuff. So that's another project, is getting throttle control. And the rule is, guys, if you're gonna do something like this and build yourself something, or even a car, no matter what it is, it has a motor on it. It has wheels. Motors and wheels. That's the next thing I asked for YouTube channel. Is the fact that you want to make sure you do your brakes first before you get it running. Because it's kind of crazy. I mean, if y'all want to do that, that's all good. But I'm not interested in driving anything I can't stop. Because if you do throttle first, guess what I'm going to want to do? You know what you're going to do. You're going to take it for a ride. You have no brakes. You're going to probably wreck it. Right. So as old as you are, you have to learn just to be smart. And unless you got a big, humongous, flat field, well, that's a different story. You know, you can get away with that stuff. But anyway, so, and it's setting up the powerhouse here, which is a 9-horsepower Honda pressure washer engine. And we're using a centrifugal clutch, like similar to a snowmobile, which is like a really neat setup where it feels like it's an automatic transmission. If you've ever driven a snowmobile or a scooter, it's just very nice control of throttle, and that's what I'm looking for. And these things set up, I mean, it's like instant. I think it's gonna do a wheelie. I mean, I picked it up in the previous video. I mean, Joe, I can tell you this, with Joe's extended 6 inches, and his was pretty much as bare as this before he bodied it, coming up the back of the hill of his field, I'm wide open throttle, and I can feel the front end lifting. Now, it doesn't do that anymore, like I said, because he put a battery in and he added a lot more reinforcements. But this is a short wheelbase version, so I don't really know what's going to happen. All I know is that it's going to be very light in the steering. So yeah, either it's going to understeer like crazy and you got to be careful, or I got to throw a lot of weight into the front end so that it will steer. Because if you ever driven a car with a locked differential where they welded the gears together, you try to go around a corner, it wants to hop. This thing wants to try to steer itself, but the rear is like, oh no, we're plowing and pushing. And you're sitting, you know, the engine's sitting back here, so, and you're sitting in the middle, so there's no real weight on the front end. So I don't know, guys, like, this is I don't know. So but I'll tell you what, I think it's gonna be pretty exciting when we go and find out, because I'll put the GoPro in my helmet and we'll take it for a rip around and, you know, see if it's, you know, maybe would you let your nephew drive it? I mean, you trust anybody they wouldn't kill themselves on it? Probably not. And only me and Gail drive it because it's safe. Right. And because we think it'll do at least 25 miles per hour. And for this thing, it's, well, find out. So,
Right.
all right. See you in the next video.